Good morning, friends. This is the hopeful speaker today, bringing you the latest bit of trivia. What shall we talk about today? I don't really have any pre planned talking point today, but we could talk about A and B. Do you ever think about A and B? You probably never did. You probably never gave it a lot of thought. I mean, someone told you about A, someone told you about B, but did you ever contemplate A or contemplate B? Well, A and B is sort of a stand in for any particular thought or belief or thing that you think about that, that you kind of know is true. And you've got some of these things. You know that the grass is green. You know it. I mean, no one's going to tell you, looking out the window, no one's going to tell you the grass is red because you can see it. But you get into more abstract things that you can't really see. People tells you something, they tell you a fact, it's a fact to them, and you say, oh, well, now he's a fairly learned individual, and he says A is red. If you had the world built around concepts A, B, and C, and as you grew up and as you talked to people in your little group, your little community, they said A is red. Then you went to school, you learned a little bit more, and you ran into a situation where you seemed to think when you thought about A, when you got acquainted with A and learned a little bit more about A appeared to be didn't appear to be red like the other things that you knew in life were red. To you, A seemed to be more yellow. And sometimes it would even look more like green. Excuse me. Sorry. But over the years, your friends and your social circle had all told you A is red. Well, you knew what red was and you knew what A was, and A didn't look red to you, didn't feel red to you. But what are you going to do? You roll with the crowd, right? So you tell people A is red. You don't really You're not really sure about that. You don't really believe that A is red. But hey, there's a lot of smarter people than you out there, and they keep telling you A is red. So I guess you're going to go with that. Well, you go along in life and you get a little further down the road, and you meet some other people from another town, and they tell you, isn't it wonderful that we know a few things in life, and we know these things, and they talk about them, and they say, it's wonderful that A is yellow. And you say, oh my, why do you say A is yellow? A, A is red. They say, oh son, you know that. You can even look at it. You can kind of tell it's yellow. And then you think to yourself, well, for a long time now, I've kind of thought A was yellow. But since everyone told me A was red, what was I going to do? I couldn't do anything about that. So I had accepted that A was red. But they said, well, look at this now. Here's a few examples of A that you may have seen before, but here's some other examples of A. And all of these other people have written articles about A. And the majority of them, and backed up with some scientific fact, will can actually sort of prove A is yellow. And all along, society has thought A was red, and it convinced people that didn't have the educational background to investigate. They bought in as A being red. Okay, so what do we do in a situation like that? Now we have cognitive dissonance. You had been thinking all your life, you had been told all your life that A was red. You had sort of struggled with cognitive dissonance about that superficially over the years. You were pretty sure that to you A seemed to be yellow, but you were told it was red by everyone that was in your circle of friends, so you'd accepted it. Now you've got a situation where you're in a different circle, and the people in this circle are telling you quite convincingly that A is yellow. And in the back of your mind, that's kind of what you thought A was all the time. So now what do you do? Now you got a dilemma. Now you got to do a little bit of thinking and decide what in the heck am I going to do about all this? Well, what you can do is do some independent research. Don't listen to what your old friends told you about A. Don't listen to what your new friends tell you about A. You've got two different answers, so what you're going to have to do some independent research. And the internet is a great place to do independent research. You can look at a lot of different sources, and grantedly, some of them are bogus. You can sort through some of those, and you will be able to find enough information to convince yourself, hey, A is really yellow. So now what do you do? You've learned enough and you've dug into this and you found out A is yellow. So you end up going back home to your old environment, but you have a new understanding of the conditions of A. And you're convinced now that it's yellow. But then you get in a group situation with your old friends, and somehow the conversation gets around to A. It seems to always get around to A. And they are so happy to reiterate the fact that we live and we're happy because A is red. And we know A is red, and we're so satisfied that A is red. What do? Here you are. These are your friends. You've known them for years. And you're back in a situation where this is total cognitive dissonance now. You're being told again, A is red. But now you know. You've done some looking. You've done some research on YouTube and other places, libraries even. They still have them. And you know beyond a shadow of a doubt in your mind, A is yellow. You've got a bigger worldview now. A is yellow. But your friends who don't have that same enlarged worldview are still happily telling you, well, isn't it wonderful? A is red. We are so happy that A is red. We base our life around the fact that A is red. Okay, now you have to decide how you're going to handle that situation. Are you going to go along with him? Just ignore the fact that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that A is yellow? And you're just going to laugh and joke with him and go ahead and say, okay, A is red. Yes, isn't it wonderful? Gosh, I'm so happy A is red. Or are you going to try to say, hey, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this. Did you ever consider the fact that A might not be red? It might be yellow. As a matter of fact, I kind of think it is yellow. Oh, you better be prepared for some backlash. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get denounced. They're going to say, how can you think that? You've been taught all your life that A was red. And you even told us you believed that A was red. So we trusted you. Now you went off to this foreign place that you lived for a few years, and now you come back to us, and you're telling us A is yellow. That's heresy, man. That's bunk. You can't do that here. What have you been doing? What have you been thinking? What's happened to your mind? If you don't know that A is red, I'm not sure we can associate with you. Other people have tried to tell us A was yellow, and we threw them out. I mean, but you're a lifelong friend. You know, we hate to throw you out, but can you reconsider? Can you think, maybe there's a possibility that A could be yellow, and you might want to look at that. Oh, no, no, you used to be our friend, but now if you're convinced and you're going to keep drilling down on this fact that A is yellow, you're out. We can't associate with you anymore. You've been corrupted by the outside world, and we can't associate with you. So after this meeting, we're not going to be associating with you anymore. You're gone to us. You're lost to us. You're unknown to us. Kind of sad, isn't it? Can you see any parallels to this in your life? Do you have an A? Is your A red or is your A yellow? Or maybe a color in between? Think about it. People make decisions in small groups without enlarged backup, without the worldview of other people and other discoveries, and they come to a conclusion. You may have a state that has 30 different large cities, and you have 30 different cultures if you're not advanced enough to travel between them and share information. You have little cultures of society. And in this example, the majority of the cultures in this made up society knew that A was red. They knew it. How did they know it? They didn't know it by talking to any scientist or any learned person or historian. They talked to the people in their circle, older people in their circle that had said, son, A has been red for 100 years. I've been here 60 years and it's always been red. That's what we believe. We believe A is red. Well, once you get that situation, they're not interested in any tangible evidence about the color of A because they know. They know A is red. I don't know how you solve that problem, but we're going to talk more about A. And we might even discuss B and C. So I hope you're having a good day. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And we'll talk more later. Let me know in the comments what you think about A. Is it red? Is it yellow? Or is it some other color? Or you might even want to tell me there is no A. You made it up. Since you made it up, you could have it red or yellow. But it has no color because there is no A. See you next week. Bye-bye.